Hi, I'm Emily and this is Made on Mill. In this video I will be showing you how to make these winter hats. Now I made these last year for my daughter and for myself. So they have been worn for a season, but they've held up really good and they were super warm. So the full pattern is available on my blog. If you're interested in this yarn, it is from Warehouse 2020 and you can see the link on my blog to purchase it specifically if it's still available. So the pattern comes in sizes newborn up to adult sizes, and I actually have two sizes for adults, a small and a large, depending on your head size. So you'll need to head to my website, madeonmill.com, to get the pattern there. So this pattern is called the Lilac Orchard Bulky Crochet Hat. Right, when I developed this pattern, I didn't film a tutorial, so here we go. I have this yarn in my stash. I believe it's Red Heart yarn, and I think it's an alpaca wool mix. And I know it was made in Italy, and I've had it for a really long time. I don't have the tag anymore, so unfortunately I won't be able to link that for you, but you will need a weight number 5 yarn, ideally, and something that's lightweight, like a lightweight fiber or a soft fiber. I wouldn't recommend cotton for this project because cotton tends to be really heavy and the hat won't sit how you want it. And you need a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. You'll also need a measuring tape and then a yarn or tapestry needle and scissors. So for this pattern, we will begin with a magic ring. So you'll create a magic ring and then start by chaining 2. Then we will work 8 double crochets in the magic ring, and your first chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So you'll work that chain 2 and then 8 double crochets for all sizes. To finish off this round, we have our 8 double crochets, so we will close the magic ring, and then you will skip that chain 2 and you will work a slip stitch in the top of the first double crochet made in that round. Oops. Right, and that is round 1. Now I wanted to make a note that if you want to check your gauge, I have full instructions of how to do that, and that's available on the blog post for this pattern on my website. All right, to start round 2, we will chain 2 and turn our work. Now I will work 2 back post double crochets around each double crochet from the previous round. So we'll ignore that chain 2, it's not a stitch, and we'll find the last double crochet from the previous round. So that's this one here. So to work a back post double crochet, you will yarn over, then you'll flip your work around and put your needle around the post of the previous stitch. And then you finish your double crochet as normal. So I'll show you that again. Yarn over, you bring your hook from around the back, going around the post of that stitch, back out the back, pulling up a loop, pulling it through and over, and then working a double crochet as normal. So what happens is then you get this ridged effect, which is very evident in the pattern here. So you continue working 2 back post double crochets around each stitch. So I'll show you, I just showed you 2 single back post double crochets, but now I'll show you how to double them up. So we worked around this double crochet. Now we will simply repeat that around it again. It can be a little bit difficult with the previous double crochet in the way there, but just do your best to work around it. Now I'll show you that again. Bring in your work from the back, around that post, pull up a loop, finish your double crochet. Again, yarn over, we're going to go around the post, pulling up a loop. Oops. And finishing your double crochet. And one more time. So this is that post we're going to work around, flip our work over, insert your hook, around, pull up a loop, finish your double crochet. Now the second one, pull up a loop, find that post, put your hook around it from the back, pull up a loop, and finish that double crochet. Okay, so you'll go ahead and repeat this around. You should have a total of 16 stitches. Okay, I have worked my way back around. So this is what the work looks like when it's facing you, but when you flip it around, you can kind of see the pattern of the hat taking shape. So I've worked my 16 stitches, so 2 back post double crochets around each stitch. Now remember, this chain 2 from the initial magic ring round is not a stitch, so we're not going to work anything around that. All right, to close off this, you will slip stitch in the top of the first back post double crochet, skipping that chain 2 that you made. Okay, let's move on to round 3. Chain 1, and we will turn. So you will start by working your first stitch in the slip stitch. Now the reason I do this is I find when I work hats or anything in the round this way, my seam tends to stay straight instead of veering off to one side. All right, so we've chained 1 and turned. Now this is that slip stitch. So we will work 1 single crochet in the slip stitch. Next, I will work a front post double crochet around the next 2 back post double crochets. So those are those 2 back post double crochets. I will work a front post. So how you do this is very similar to the back post, but you, instead of putting your hook from the back, you will insert it around the post, but come in from the front. So these ones tend to be a little bit easier because you can see them better. So there's our first one, and then we'll work our second front post double crochet around that second back post double crochet stitch. Now I will work 1 single crochet on top of the back post double crochet that we just worked around. So here's that back post double crochet that we worked around. So we'll find the top of it. If we move our work out of the way, we can see that the top of it would be right here. So we will work a single crochet in that stitch. Now I'll work a front post double crochet around the next 2 back post double crochets. So again, inserting your hook from the front, pulling up a loop and working a double crochet, yarn over, hook from the front around that post, and finish the double crochet. Then we'll find the top of the stitch of the back post double crochet, which is here, and you'll work a single crochet into there. So this is how we are creating increases in this round, and we're starting to create the ridge shape. So where you see the valley here in your work, those are created by working the single crochets. And then these like cable ridges are from the back post, the alternating back post and front post double crochets. So you will keep working this around, and there will be no single crochet at the end because we worked that initial single crochet in the slip stitch. But I'll show you how to work the end when we get there. I'm approaching the last 2 stitches. So I've worked that single crochet on top of the back post double crochet. Now I work my remaining 2 front post double crochets. And then remember, there's no single crochet at the end because we worked that initial single crochet. So you should have worked a total of 24 stitches. Now we will slip stitch in that single crochet we made at the beginning of the round. And that's how round 3 looks. For round 4, we will chain 1 and turn. Again, you will find that slip stitch that you just made and we'll be working in there. So for this round, we will work 2 single crochets in the top of that slip stitch. 1, 2. Next, we will work 1 back post double crochet around the next 2 front post double crochets. So again, the back post, remember we need to insert our hook from the back of our work. And you'll work 1 around each of the next 2 front post double crochets. Now we'll find that single crochet stitch and there you'll work 2 single crochets. Right, so you'll repeat the pattern around, working 1 back post double crochet around each front post double crochet that you worked last round, and then working 2 single crochet in that single crochet space. All right, at the end you finish with 2 back post double crochets. You should have a total of 32 stitches. Then we will slip stitch into the first single crochet of that round. All right, now let's move on to round 5. So we'll chain 1 and turn. This is the last round that applies to all sizes. After this round, you kind of work different rounds for depending on what size you are working. All right, so we will work 1 single crochet in that slip stitch. Can be a little tricky to work into. Now we will work 2 front post double crochets around the first back post double crochet, and then 1 front post double crochet around the second back post double crochet. And then you'll work 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So in those next single crochet spaces, you'll work only 1 single crochet. So you repeat this around. We'll go over that one more time. So you have your first back post double crochet here, and you will work 2 front post double crochets around it. Then the next back post double crochet from the previous round, you will work only 1 front post double crochet. Then you will find those 2 single crochet spaces and work 1 single crochet in each of those spaces. Right, so you can see the ridging pattern is really starting to take shape, and you'll repeat this around and I'll meet you at the end. So I've worked that final front post double crochet cluster there. Now for this round, we will work a final single crochet before we finish it off. And then you will slip stitch in the top of that single crochet we made when we first started the round, and that's round 5. So you'll see on the blog now as you're reading that round 6 applies to, there's 2 round 6s. So there's one for 3 to 6 months, and then there's a separate one for all the other sizes. And then, so I've completed round 5, and for 0 to 3 month, I need to now skip to round 10. So we won't be doing any more increases. Now this may look quite small, but even when you stop doing increases, the hat still does curve out a little bit. So don't be alarmed if you're thinking that, hey, that looks quite small. So once you reach the part in your pattern when you have no more increases, the pattern is the same for each size. So there'll be, once you reach the point of no increases, each round will start with a single crochet in the slip stitch. So remember, we chain 1 and turn, then that slip stitch. So every round after this, you will start by working a single crochet in that slip stitch. Then you will always work one back post double crochet around each front post double crochet, and then the opposite applies. You will work one back post double crochet around each front post double crochet and a front post double crochet around each back post double crochet. So what I mean here is, so this is the, I believe, 6 to 12 month size here. You can see there's 4 like double crochet in that single cluster. So you always work a front post around a back post depending on what round you are, but you're not increasing in these additional rounds here. So for this size, you will have 3. So you'll always work just 3 back post or front post double crochets, 1 around each stitch, depending on which round you are on. So again, the rounds start with a single crochet and then they end with a single crochet. So I will show you the first round of no increases, but then after that, it's just like you're just duplicating that and replicating it. So we'll get started here with a single crochet in the first stitch. You will skip the stitch here, and then that was that single crochet from the previous round. You will work a back post double crochet around each of these double crochets. Then I will work 2 single crochets and then 1 back post double crochet around each front post double crochet for a total of 3 for my size. Then my 2 single crochets. So you will repeat this around, and then I will show you the next round where our work is turned this way so you can really get the hang of it. Okay, I've worked my way back around. So we just worked that final back post double crochet around this front post double crochet. Now remember, each round going forward now will end with a single crochet. So you had a single crochet when you started and 1 when you ended, and then you slip stitch around that single crochet stitch. Okay, chain 1 and turn. Now remember, we're not doing increases anymore. So again, your round starts with a single crochet. You will skip this stitch here, and then because we have 3 double crochets, we will work 1 in each. So this round, because the ridges are facing us, is a front post. So we will work 1 front post double crochet around each of the back post double crochets. Okay, so I've worked those 3. Then you work 2 single crochets, so 1 in each stitch. Again, you'll work those 3 front post double crochets, and then 2 single crochets. Okay, so you keep repeating this around and the hat will start to take shape. Okay, once we are done all the rounds, then we will begin working on the band. So I'll meet you back here and show you exactly how that's worked. All right, so I've worked all those rows here that did not contain increases. Now I'm ready to work the band. So you will begin by chaining. So for my size, I will begin by chaining 9. You will follow your pattern size on the blog. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So I just want to show you the band here. It is folded over the base of the hat. So this kind of gives you a little bit of room to play with adjusting. So you can kind of scrunch it down, or you can even over fold it if needed. If you're in between sizes, or say you're making this for a kid and they're growing or they don't quite fit into it yet. It's a little bit adjustable that way. So we've chained 9. Now in the second chain from the hook, working in those back bumps, we're going to work the beginning of the band. This is pretty standard. So you'll find that back bump and you'll insert your hook into there. Okay, and you will work 1 single crochet in each stitch back down. Okay, so there is the band. Now we will find the next 2 stitches in our work. So we've worked in this one here. So you'll work a slip stitch in the next stitch and the stitch after that. Right? Turn your work and you will skip those 2 slip stitches that we just made. So 1, 2, we'll skip those. And we'll work in the back loops only and work 8 single crochets back up the band. Chain 1 and turn again. Work 8 single crochets in the back bumps only, back down the band. Okay, we've reached the band. So our last slip stitch was worked into this stitch here. So now we will find the next 2 available stitches and we'll slip stitch in there. 1 and 2. Turn our work, skip those 2 slip stitches, and then work back up the band, working the number of stitches as stated for your size. So I will keep repeating this around and I will meet you at the end to join the band up. So I've worked that band around. I went back and actually made it smaller. So there's only 6 single crochets rather than the 8. I was worried I was running out of yarn. Probably could have had enough, but either way, I'm fine with how that looks. So yeah, that's something you can adjust, is the size of the band if you want. So let's finish up the band here and I'll show you how to close it together. Okay, so I've already worked into this stitch here. So we have these 2 spaces left. So we'll work our final single or slip stitches into those. So now we will work back up and then we'll close it. Okay, so we'll chain 1 like normal and now we will close it. So because the brim of the hat will, or like the band, sorry, will be sitting up like this, then we want our seam to sit on this side because then it'll be hidden against the hat there. So what you can do is simply turn your work as if you were going back down that band. Then you will line up your initial chain row and the end of your band, making sure you can see 6 stitches or however many stitches you need. So let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 kind of hidden in there. So we'll start by working how we usually would. So we would go in the back bump of this one, right? And then we will go over here and find that V and we'll pull up what would be the back bump of that one. And then we'll just slip stitch these together. Try to make your slip stitches a little bit loose. So give it a little bit of a tug. And then that way it won't make this part of the band really tight or smaller. Right, so we're finding the back loop of both sides and working a slip stitch. Then once you are done there, you can fasten off. Okay, so you will weave in your ends now at this point. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked this video or found it to be helpful, I would really love it if you could like this video, share it, or subscribe to my channel. And as a reminder, make sure you check out the blog post to read the full pattern that's available online there. I hope you have a wonderful day.